And now, Freelance Heroism presents Return to Ravenloft.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before I even get started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates to the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Yes.
Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Crispy, Nate, Breakmeister, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, everyone.
You guys help us make a better show for everyone, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you. Oh, that was cool. That was in unison. That was nice. Rachel.
Dees.
I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah,
Rebirth.
That came out recently, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Act surprised. Act surprised. You know I've been playing this game. I am having such a good time. This game is excellent. I was a little worried about one part of it during the demos. Because of the running, because the terrain is different. It's not like a cutout path in between a bunch of wreckage and stuff like it was in Remake. This is like a field, an open field, and there's like lots of elevation changes and rocks and stuff just kind of out in the open field. So when you run over them, you kind of do this little hop, right?
Oh.
And at first, I will admit it was a little jarring, right? Because you're just walking in a straight line, but your character keeps like popping up and down. It makes your camera kind of wiggle around a little bit.
Yeah.
And I wasn't super into that. But it takes about maybe 15 minutes of just being able to go wherever you want, and it just bleeds away. Like you roll right into it, and it feels super comfortable. And after a while, you forget that there's even like control functions for that kind of stuff. It just you intuit the movement. It's so good. They still don't have a manual jump, which I would have liked for open worldy kind of traversal, but still very good. Yeah.
Well,
pretty awesome.
That's, I think, a pretty small complaint for...
It's not really even a complaint.
Yeah.
You just get used to doing this movement style the way that it is. And like, I can look at a rock and be like, if I can climb that, I just know that I can. And if I can't, then I know that I can't.
Right.
I don't even have to attempt it. I just know right away. And so it's a bunch of that's kind of, you just get the feel for it. And they do a really good job of kind of tuning that in. So like after, I'll say an hour, even for maybe the worst person with the worst gaming instincts in the world, after an hour you're probably tuned. So I went into the game initially thinking I'm going to powerhouse this game, and then I'm going to go back and play it probably again to get all the little stuff I left behind. Right. I left out of the city called Calm. And when I left the city, there was the open world area, and I underestimated the size of the open world zone. The first open world zone is much, much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
And much bigger than the original game, right?
Oh, yeah. By a lot. So to walk from Nibelheim to Calm is about... from Midgard to Calm is maybe about a 1 minute straight shot, right? You leave out of Midgard, you run straight, and then you take a right, and you'd be at Calm, right? And I actually think when you first leave, I think they just put you at Calm. But anyway, that little walk is like, it's like a little small segment of the map. It's so tiny, and really it's just random encounters on the way. There's nothing in between. There's no side quests or anything, just a plain green flat surface kind of edged by water until you get to Calm, right? Hold your thumbstick down, and that's how you get there. In this game, when I walked out, immediately I met with like these giant rocky outcroppings. And like there's the seaside, which is like kind of the same as in the other game, but like this is like textured, and there's like beaches, and there's like a fucking chocobo farm out there. Chocobo, sorry.
That's cool.
I said it before they had voice acting, so roll with me.
Right.
I learned it from reading it, not from saying it. So
yeah, well, it's like that with the Mako.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. and even they interchange it in the game sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so huge. Like there's a lot of side quests and shit to do, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them are kind of silly, nonsensical stuff that is just there to like kind of help flesh out the world a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there are other things that are like I don't want to spoil anything early, but there's a character that helps you escape something
Mm-hmm.
early on in the game. I don't want to say their name.
Okay.
But that character has, through a bunch of side quests, has like some information come out that gives you gives you more information about the reunification thing.
Oh.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
And it's just not in the original game, but it should have been. It has a lot of kind of texture to it, adds to the story, and you see that kind of stuff a lot. Like you'll go to a part of the game where you are interacting with the chocobo people, and they have some like sad story about some family members, and that ties back to remake in a way. And then you're just like, man, I'm really curious about that, but you don't get any more on it for a little while, and then you hear about some more of it later. Then you go on and do some flower picking or whatever for the girl, and you come back and you help her make a thing, and then it's just, and then there's just like some more story right there, a little bit. It's very, very good.
That's cool.
It makes you want to do all the side quests, right? So I went in thinking I'm just gonna bomb this game out. I'm just gonna run at it, right?
Right.
Just beat all of the major bosses, just run in a straight line.
Yeah, get through the main story.
Yeah.
And then go back.
Yeah. And that is not what I'm doing now. Now I am, every time I get to a zone, I'm doing every single side quest. I'm unlocking every corner of the map. I'm getting all of the springs and checking for the proto relics, and I'm going everywhere looking for everything right away.
Right.
Because it's so good. It's just good. I don't know how to explain it. Like sometimes I'm like, I haven't even done the simulator missions, which are the literal ones that are tied to my power.
Oh, wow.
You know how I play games. I always get the power first.
Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
Not now. I do all the stuff. I should go back. I got to do all the combat simulators. That'll be what I do today. As soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go combat simulator.
Well, it looks really good. You shared like some clips from like some gameplay and some little portions of cutscenes, and it looks really good. I had a really good time playing Remake.
Yeah. I am so happy that you liked the first one, and I'm excited for you to finish all these, and then we'll top it off by having you go back and play the original.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The original one where you can watch all the trapezoids yell at each other.
All right. Get past the part that my game froze at when I originally played it a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a good bit after that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a good portion of the game. I would say about most of it after that, actually.
Yeah.
So the other day I was leaving out of, where was I? I just got to the Junon region, and up on the hill you can see the sister cannon, the sister ray or whatever. And looking up there, I saw an airship, and I was like, I know that airship, and it says Highwind on the side, and I was like, yes. I was like, yes. One of my favorite characters, Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy VII, the original, has such a cool and sad backstory. He's like a kind of a crotchety ass. He's very Kaeviir, now that I'm thinking about it. He very much is. And
wow, a grumpy old man with a flying airship, you say?
Yep. And a cigar and a fucking pole arm, which I thought was awesome. He's essentially a dragoon, but they never call him that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His backstory is excellent. I don't want to spoil it for you. But it's heroic, and he doesn't, you know, when a person acts heroic, you expect them to behave heroically.
Yeah.
This guy does not do that. He acts heroically, but he does not behave heroically.
Ah, okay.
Which is my favorite part. That's my favorite type of hero.
The
guy who's like Like, you put me in a situation where I had to ruin this thing that I wanted to save your fucking life. Thanks. Like, that is so excellent to me. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm this is maybe the best gaming feeling I'll have for the next few years.
Yeah.
It just feels good to play.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Wow.
Sorry. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. You've had feelings like that. A game you've been waiting for a long time finally comes out and you're just like, ah.
Yes.
Like when they finally put out that 60 frames per second Bloodborne.
They haven't done that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. They haven't? So it's only at 30 frames per second, Rachel?
Yes.
The best game that you love more than anything in the world. 30 frames per second.
Yep.
Gross.
That's how it is. I mean, like when Last of Us 2 came out, I was really excited for that game, and that game was incredible.
Right.
And
the internet hated it because the internet penises are shorter than average. Like, if you were to measure all penises in the world and then measure just the ones on the internet, but statistically they'd be smaller. They bring down the average of the whole world. Okay, just clarifying.
But yeah, like I played through that game twice actually. Like I played through it sort of just how I normally play. Yeah. And then after I beat the game, I went through and played it again just to get like some little stuff that I missed out on.
What was sorry, I don't mean to like renegotiate, but I wasn't super up to date on Last of Us. Last of Us 2, what was the gripe? People didn't like it because Ellie was gay?
That was one of the things, which doesn't make sense because Ellie is gay in the first one. So she just continues to be gay. Right. There are also a couple of characters that people were griping because they were woke, as in they weren't like either they weren't like conventionally attractive women, or like there's a trans character in it, and
that put the butt hurt on these guys.
That ruined the entire game, apparently. It did not. It was just, hey.
Imagine being so emotionally frail that just the existence of a person is different than you makes you.
It does. I don't get it.
I'd like to hear the rage on this. I'd like to hear the rage on this. I'm so close to getting you angry. Let's do it. Let's just lean into it for this one. It'll be Final Fantasy. That'll be a good thing. I love that. And then you can just haul off on some internet short dickers, and we can just make this a 1-2 intro. It's a good game.
It's an excellent game. Yes.
Right. I bought it, and by the way, I will say that for every negative there is a positive. Okay, so when I bought Last of Us, or when I was given it for Christmas, the Last of Us update, the graphical update one for the PS5.
Yeah.
When I got that, I was like, well, I'm not just going to play this and then not play the second part. Right? I have to play the second part. So like I went on to the eShop to find the second one, and it was on turbo sale during a holiday season sale. And so I ended up getting it for like $6 or something like that. $7. And I was like, oh my God, internet fucking incels made this so affordable for me. I mean, I would have paid whatever, but I'm not gonna not buy it for $7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I normally don't like pre-order a lot of games, but I did pre-order Last of Us 2 because I was that excited about playing it right away. But I thought all of the characters were really interesting, and everybody had their sort of different perspectives on things that if you thought for a minute about their perspective, they're, it's not unrealistic.
Yeah, it's well written.
Yeah, it's very well written. But yeah, people are mad because there's a character who is a woman and she works out, so she is muscular. And people are mad about that.
Why?
Because she's muscular and you can see that she's muscular.
That's a weird thing to be upset about.
It is a weird thing to be upset about, and yet there are people upset about it. And I don't get it because there were just weird arguments made about it that didn't make sense because the entire explanation, like she literally lives in a place with a gym
Right.
and they have plenty of food. And the culture there is like, hey, everybody needs to be like fit and able to fight. So
Yeah. Wouldn't she be? She's an
yeah,
Amazonian, essentially.
yeah. Um, and then there's, like I said, another character who is trans, and people were just mad about them existing in a game, I guess.
I don't understand people at all.
hmm
I just don't. I just don't get.
Yeah.
I don't get why that would upset you.
I don't know. I genuinely don't get it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I got the game for $7, so it's working against you guys. The
Mhm.
cheaper the game gets, the more people are gonna play it. So,
Yeah,
so I
true.
guess that works. I just feel bad for the studio that has to modulate their prices based on the outrage of a bunch of
Mhm. I mean,
frail noodle dicks.
they sold a ton of copies when it first came out. I think they
That's good.
broke some kind of a record.
Oh, well, good for them then. Never mind.
So, yeah. They're
Yeah, so
they're
give me the
fine.
discount. Give me the discount.
Yeah. Well,
Well, hey, that's the second time we did that.
should we go to this week's episode?
Yeah, what's the title?
All right. So this is Return to Ravenloft, Season 2, Episode 25, The Good Egg.
The Good Egg.
Yep.
I have no idea what that's about.
Well, you have to listen to it and find out.
Damn it. What's who came up with the title?
I don't know. I just wrote down a list of title suggestions for it, and that was one of them. And I thought it fit for a couple reasons in this episode.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy the episode.
Yeah. Captain,
Aye, sir.
how goes the ship?
I believe we are ready for departure. We just need to set a course.
Well, we are currently researching what I think is a good next place. I have a suspicion where we will head.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain we will have group unanimity.
Unanimously.
Yeah, I'm unanimity, right?
Everyone's going to agree.
Kaeviir would know how to say this word, but I always fuck this up. Unanimity, correct?
Unanimity.
Okay. We're all saying it different. That's the definition of unanimity.
Unanimity.
Unanimous enemy. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Unanimous cinema.
Right. Unanimous enmity. Right. I swear to God, I do the same thing. I do the same thing when I say admirable and admiral. So if I have to say an admirable admiral, just put a bullet in my head because it's faster.
Is there somewhere quiet I could go for maybe 10 minutes to cast a spell?
Yes, actually, you have your own quarters here, Adrie.
It's your room.
Oh, with the chain in the doorway?
I moved the chain,
Oh,
but I did move all of your things into this room. I hope that's okay.
of course.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's right over here.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Main sales, I guess. I'll be back. I'm going to lead Adrie to her room. I'm like, if you have any trouble, if you need anything, just shout.
Okay.
Or we'll probably just walk to where I'm at and talk to me. But right. So I hope this isn't too much. I open the door and it's like the fucking dummy where she puts her gear and all of her stuff, and I'm like, I think you still have your journal. and all of that, but everything else should be in the same.
I hug Kaeviir. Thank you.
I forgot about these. These are
Thank
fun.
you.
Not a problem. I'm backing away slowly. Like, okay.
I need 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and I might have an idea of where we can go to find her.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna go to my room and I'm gonna get ready to cast scrying.
While she's doing that, I am going to check in with Cargelis, make sure everything's going good down here. He seems all right.
Yeah, he's doing good.
What do you eat?
Preferably small children. I'm kidding.
Rachel got real like, I'm like, I could find you some kids. I know this cult that we stopped at on the way over here. They got a few kids that are complete assholes. If you don't mind segmenting them up, I'm sure we could run across a few specs.
No, I'm okay. Just I really like Danishes. Like sweet Danishes.
The flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I've got you. I'm going to create a tasting menu for you tonight. You tell me what you like, and then I'll make sure to focus in on that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
I make very good pastries. All right. Let me know if you need anything. Remember, pineapple. All right. I'll see you later.
All right.
I'm going to head back upstairs. Let's go ahead and set course to open water, if that's all right with you, Captain.
Okay.
North, south, east, or west?
Dealer's choice. Let's just get out of open air here around populated areas. Let's just get somewhere where there's some open sea, somewhere where there's a good line of sight visibility.
Okay.
And from there we can plot our course next. Also, I wanted to talk to you about your former captain.
Yeah.
Part of our contract
Uh-huh.
that we have here is that you operate the ship and you operate and kind of give orders to the crew and handle all those types of things. But
Sure.
I like to be useful in return. That's also part of your contract.
Okay.
And so I will help you hunt this man down if it's really what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we have a greater motivation to hunt him down in general because of the whole who wants to be a Dark Lord thing we've got going on right now.
I have yet to receive any correspondence from any of the candidates, but I will keep you apprised.
Okay.
In the meantime, I want to hunt down maybe a cure for your condition.
That'd be nice.
If that's something you really want. Oftentimes I find that things that we find are our curses can actually be some of our strength. Maybe I can help you find someone that can help you control that better.
That would be just as acceptable. Yes, because at the end of the day, it's not so much the affliction as it is the inability to control said affliction. So if you know someone who can help me control it, sure, that may actually be easier than trying to carve the heart out of Draga Saltbiter.
Well, I know a guy who had somewhat the same affliction as you.
Yeah, and that's who I was hoping to kind of also find when I came looking for the two of you, but I know that ship has sailed, no pun intended.
Well, we'll see what we can do. It might
All
not
right.
be an immediate thing, but I'll help you out.
I appreciate that. All right.
Is there anything you
need? Just a preference as to how close to Martira Bay you might want to be. Seeing that was
Not
the
close.
Okay. I only bring it up because of overhearing your conversation, that was the last place that Adrie's mother was seen at.
So then we know it's the last place she'll be at.
Well, I don't think she'll be in Martira Bay. I mean, I know that, but seems like we might be better off being closer. I mean, how far could she have gotten in 2 weeks?
How far do we get in 2 weeks?
Well, we've had some alternative forms of conveyance.
Not to say that she didn't. They work for the
Oh.
Kagrat. They have resources.
Okay.
On top
Well-
of that, once we know where to look, then we can make a beeline and we're unencumbered by terrain. We can get there pretty quick. More the case is that the people who know that we're looking for her will be looking for us in those same areas.
Right.
It's best to stay out of line of sight until we've made our plan.
Okay. Fair enough.
You agree?
No, I agree. So, D-Walk, in terms of where we're currently located in Darkon, Martira Bay is kind of assuming that we're looking at or working off the same sort of map. Martira Bay is kind of the major city in the northwestern side of the realm. Nevichar Springs would be sort of the northeast side, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Isn't
Mhm.
that the side that Midnight is kind of rampaging?
Yeah, he's on New Richard Springs.
Okay. So that may not be a great place to go right now. Where are we at between those two? Are we
You're about Ditz. You are closer to Matira Bay than you are Nuvichar, but not by much.
okay?
You're kind of you're in between them and then over west some.
So Bratislava is close to Vyaki, right? It's near.
Yeah, it's right off Vyaki.
Okay. So if northwest isn't going to be an option because we think no one's there of interest, and northeast is not necessarily a great place to go right now. I would say I'd take us probably due south.
To
Ooh,
Veliki?
No.
no.
Oh.
Through the forest of shadows, down towards possibly the mountains of misery,
Yeah,
and the
because
floating castle.
well,
Castle of
because
Avernus.
yeah, I mean the only other option really would be I'm
I
trying
like
to
to
think of.
avoid the dragons if possible.
But no, understood. I'm just you're wanting to go over a large body of water, and as best I can tell, the largest body of water that's not Nevichar, that's not Matira Bay, I guess would be to go to the Nocturnal Sea. We'd go southeast.
Yep.
Okay.
Is
All right,
where's Veliki from our location?
Veliki
Veliki.
is in Barovia.
different city.
Rachel, you're muted.
Vyaki.
Oh, you're talking about the city of Vyaki?
I'm talking about Veliki.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, no, Veliki's in a different realm.
Have we just been pronouncing it weird, or is it?
No,
it's in
no,
a complete.
There's a
no.
city in Darkon near us that's called Vyaki. That's what
Vyaki.
I thought. That's what I
What
thought
I'm-
you meant.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, no.
I'm asking is that I know that it's in a different area. I'm asking
That would be
'cause I
way
traveled.
south.
I
Yeah, no.
traveled here in. It took me how long?
Couple months.
In an airship though, without having ground conveyance. How far? I'm just positioning ourselves.
You might be able to make it in a week or half a month.
Okay. Well, let's go.
If you can get through the misty waters.
I do not want to go towards the floating castle. That's a
Fine.
consideration.
Sure.
We could go to Materia Bay, but we'd have to disguise the ship.
Yeah. The other option would be to go to effectively the other end of Darkon, which would be near Vradlock and the Nocturnal Sea. That's about as far away as we can get from Castle Avernus without
What about the acting ship?
They'd be up on the northern sea, little around the Lake of Lost Streams by now.
so they'd be to our north. So they're closer
Northeast.
they're closer to Nevichar Springs than anything else.
Mhm. But Midnight's attacking. He's attacking. He's actually not. Well, they're based in Nubichar, so technically Nubichar got sucked into the combat, but he is actually attacking the Internal Order.
Okay. You want to go someplace that is. You don't want to go any place that's got action surrounding it, right?
I just don't want to go anywhere where we're going to get caught up in anything.
Well, so Southwest is out, Northeast is out, Martira Bay. I mean, what?
Well, we could go to Martira Bay.
We run the risk of running into the Kagrat, right? If we go back there.
If we made ourselves waterborne, took the balloon down.
Yeah.
We could disguise our ship using other rigging.
Sure.
And just kind of stay maybe out into the bay and not cross any. I mean, we could do that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's fine. If you want to turn this boat into a boat, you
have the papers you need to navigate out there.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the jagged coast I know very well, so I would probably put us down around Wrecker's Island and come into Martira Bay from the south.
And you could tell me what I'd need to forge.
Sure. I know the
All
quarter.
Right.
I mean, I know everyone there is to know in Martira Bay. If we need to come in and have our identities obfuscated.
Tell me what I need to create us an alias.
Sure.
And I'll have it put together. I can do it myself. And it'll be spotless.
Okay. I'll get you what you need and get you that while we're on the way.
All right. Let me know if we need to pay anyone off and how much it'll be.
Yep, understood.
All right. Sounds good. I'm off to prepare dinner.
All right.
Serena, how's that coming with Bonehead?
It looks like a bookcase.
Sure. Okay. You want to help with dinner? And by help with, I mean, just count ingredients, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Trying to keep
it's nice to have Adrie back.
It is. I want to keep an eye on her until we're certain that it's her.
I can do that if you want.
That's exactly why you're coming to dinner.
Okay. Vernon's not going to be any good.
I was kind of hoping we could discuss that over the preparation of dinner, but sure, we'll do it up here and then go down there and do nothing.
All right.
Just like the worst spy ever, and she should be the best spy
ever. All right, they're heading that way. Adrie, what are you doing?
I am preparing to cast scrying.
All right. Who are you scrying?
My mother. So, there are a couple things that adjust the save DC.
Mm-hmm.
So first is knowledge. I would say that I am familiar with the target, which means that they get a -5 to their save modifier.
Well, the question is, this goes back to when you scried Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Did we rule that Kess was familiar?
Well,
Adrie sure is.
Kess was able to scry for Victor, and Victor was able to message Kess.
That is true, because the magic picked her up as Adrie.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, go for it. You know her well.
Other part is a connection. So there's likeness or picture, possession or garment, body part, lock of hair, bit of nail. For possession, Adrie takes out her mother's sword that she got
from
off
the other realm.
Vampire Adrie that got it from the alternate version of Thirastra. However, we have rolled that those sorts of
Yes,
scrying
magic items.
messages
Hmm.
pick up on alternate versions. So
Because she
that
tried to dial one dad and dial two dads by accident once.
yes.
This is what you get when you set precedent.
Pay
Pay
Oh, yeah, no.
attention, Supreme Court.
So that's an additional -4. So it's going to be, she'll have a total of a -9 to her saving throw.
This just adds more drama to it if she actually makes it. So
So
doesn't bother me.
Casting time 10 minutes. Or sorry, casting time 10 minutes, and then the duration is concentration up to 10 minutes. You can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. So it's going to be wisdom save 18, but she gets a -9 to her roll.
And if there's any...
She didn't make it.
Okay.
That was a 4.
On a failed save, the spell creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. The sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. A creature that can see invisible objects sees the sensor as a luminous orb about the size of your fist.
Also,
Yeah.
can I add something to this that'll be helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Because Adrie retains all of the memories of Kess. When Kess last did this, she was able to give me bits of information that I could then use to geo spot her on the map within pretty decent accuracy. The fact that she knows that now, knows that she knows exactly what types of things that I would need to best locate where she would be. So she knows to gather as much information, not like last time, the bits that she had, but really research everything. Right? Clothes, fucking wallpaper, books on the shelves, lighting, direction of lighting, types of tree, color of bark, moss, fucking how cool or warm people are dressed, right? Okay. So this is going to be a you, Rachel, thing. You do good.
Adrie's gonna have her like journal open to a blank page next to her, like ready to write what she sees as she's scrying.
I'm gonna detect this shit straight on fucking down, son. It's gonna be like CSI for this bitch. Except, better written.
All right.
Do they have moths? What kind of moths are there? I'm like, God damn it, dude. Would you just get it together and cook with the moths? That's funny if you watch CSI.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. The sensor appears, and the clanging sound of metal on a battlefield echo through it. You're seeing mist, you're seeing smoke, you're seeing mud, you're seeing dirt, you see your mother, or Adrie sees her mother standing in the armor, not the normal paladin armor she's used to, but a solid set of full plate, a shield, and a longsword. You also recognize her opponent, Soth, as they're exchanging blows back and forth. Damokos is on the ground, wounded, bleeding out actually pretty heavily. You also see a number of others dead on the ground that Damokos normally ran with. When he wasn't running with you or running with Kess, he had another team he was with. You can assume now they were most likely Kograd as well. But skeletons around, undead around, trees everywhere, heavy trees, heavy, thick grass in the spots that's not mud. Kind of like a heavy mist on the ground. The ground split open, kind of like you guys saw back at the safe house. Small creatures are pouring out of it. The two combatants will take breaks from swinging at each other, clinging off each other's swords to actually swing and strike down these creatures that are crawling out of the the Kaeviir before they re-engage back again.
The like the based on the sun in the sky, does it look like it's about the same time of day as it is where we are?
Mm. With the mist, it's hard to tell the exact time of day the way the mist is kind of socked in the area. But you do pick up faint shadows enough to tell you that the sun is in the west of the position. So it would set it at a later time of day than where you're at.
Is it like much later or?
Do. Not much, but it is a little later, but not like drastically.
Okay. Can I tell like the color of the sky from the mist?
It's a grayish hue.
Okay.
Between
The
the mist, the smoke, and
the trees, do they look like native to Darkon?
yes.
Are they a type of tree that like grows in a certain part of Darkon?
Give me a nature check or a survival.
Survival. 15.
You know these trees tend to grow on um, the northern side, eastish, but we're not talking full like East Coast northern, but they are to the northern and the east.
Okay. Um, can I make out, is this like sort of a flat area or is this like, do I see like
Grasslands to forest.
grasslands to forest? Okay.
You hear a sound of wings whooshing as the ground shakes as a dragon lands. One of the shadow dragons.
Okay.
Causes both combatants to stop and begin to engage the shadow dragon.
Does this seem like, does it seem like it's like cooler here? Like, are they at like a higher elevation? Like up a mountain or something? Or is this just a plains area?
Almost not, definitely not mountains, definitely not swamps.
Mhm.
I guess, I mean, plainsy, valley-ish.
Valley-ish. Can I see like
Hmm.
mountains in the distance?
No.
No. Okay. So if it's not like marshlands or something, then the dragon doesn't like sink into the mud or anything. It just kind of
Mm-mm.
okay. All right. Um the the shield that she has or like her armor, does she have like any sort of identifying like crests or marks or like, oh, this is a standard shield that was purchased from such and such place.
The scabbard on her hip that keeps the long sword,
Mhm.
you see the Kagrat's logo on it. Their emblem.
Okay. With all the mist and smoke and stuff, can I tell like which direction the wind is blowing?
Hmm. Maybe blowing west.
So this fight looks like it's Soth and his undead versus the Kargat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At least that's how it started,
Right. And then a dragon showed up.
as
Okay.
well as the ground ripped open.
Right. Okay. Um Is anyone, because the scrying gives me like I can hear through it too. So is
Mm-hmm.
anyone saying anything other than just like shouts? Or is there a specific language I'm picking up?
Mm. Some dark, I mean, some of the Darkon basic tongue,
Okay.
some Elven battle cries from a certain fighter. The conversation goes between the two. We have a dragon to finish before we can even try to finish this, the other way. Soth replies, "You all sealed your fate when you attacked me. You knew better and so did your master. But yes, we have a dragon to kill first." It doesn't seem the two of them are much for banter when
Okay. And it's just like they're out in a field?
trees, field.
Trees, field. Okay. There's
Mm.
no like, there's not like a sign for a town or like a tower or anything in the distance.
Mm, not really there.
Mhm.
Give me a perception.
Okay. 27.
You think you might actually be able to hear the ocean in the distance.
Do I hear it in which direction?
To the north.
Ocean to the north. Okay.
And that's at the point where you realize Soth sees your eyeball.
Unless he dispels it.
No, he's not getting rid of it.
Okay. I
he just,
don't care.
no, yeah. You can tell he notices and just kind of shrugs it off.
Mm. Okay. Does the ocean sound like there's a storm or like the tide's coming in, or is it just like more calm waves?
More crashing, like calm waves, nothing crazy that way.
Okay. Do I hear or see like seagulls or any kind of like coastal birds?
No, not over the sound of the battle and the dragon.
Okay. You said it was muddy, or there was mud
From the mist, soaking the ground.
from the. Okay. So like, is everyone's armor damp, or like, does it look um like it's just the ground that's damp, or like, did it
No.
rain recently and their armor's wet, or
Yeah, their armor would be wet.
armor wet? Okay. What does a shadow dragon look like?
Large, black, almost has a tendency of like etherealness as kind of like the shadow waves come off of it.
Is it
Um,
is it like uh incorporeal?
at times, it almost looks like it when it waves out.
Okay.
Here, it's solid the way it moves, unless it shifts planes.
Does the
But
mist make it damp?
mm,
I'm going to put a fucking pin in Soth's ass after these questions, by the way. I am going to fucking know where he ate lunch. Does anyone burp? How loud was the burp? Was it guttural? Does it sound like it's carbonated?
What's the level of spice you get in the air after they do so?
The scent of the burp. Is it meaty?
yeah, because at the moment it's corporal.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Okay.
that works.
So it's like kind of smoky, but it has like moments where it becomes solid.
Yeah.
So the mist, and I assume, so when you say mist, is it like a normal mist or is it like a Ravenloft mist?
This area is actually a normal mist.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So when it becomes solid, does the mist like stick to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It
It
actually
drips.
like moves and breaks through like parts of the mist as it moves, the tail and the wings.
Okay. The Karga, do they have horses? Or does it look like they're on foot?
They had horses.
They had horses. Do they have like anything else on the battlefield to help them? Like, do they have like attack dogs or something?
Not these ones.
Not these. Okay.
That was a good ass question, by the way. There's a lot. If with the dogs thing in particular, there's a lot there.
Okay.
Dogs are short range.
Do Adrie's like very quickly writing down as much as she can. So I know like by the angle of the sun, it seems like it's like an hour or two later in time than where we're at. Right?
About an hour.
About an hour. Okay. So does Darkon have time? Is it big enough to have like real time
Not
zones?
not really.
Not really.
Maybe half hour.
Okay. So then
I
It
mean,
takes a couple
technically,
days.
if you go,
It takes a couple
yeah,
days to travel from one end to the other.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
at least, if you travel against the sun.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. You mean you should? There should be like at least an hour and a half
Okay.
from
There's
one side to the other.
some wrinkles of time, yeah. Based on
Yeah.
if they're not moving and we're not moving, we could dictate where they're at.
How many Kargat does it seem like are there? Is this like a really large group?
It was more of a strike team. It seemed that Damokos left with a mission to target something.
So between six and 10, a dozen men maybe.
You see 3 alive still. At least another good like 6 dead bodies on the ground outside of Damokos,
Okay.
who's still somewhat alive. You do see a large Ravenloft mist actually begin to roll in and begin
Shit.
encompassing the field.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah.
And as it sweeps through, the only 2 left are standing there is Thrastra and Soth, the only 2 it didn't remove. I mean, they try to run, even the dragon tried to fly out, but it ended up sucking up actually almost everyone but them and then Damokos on the ground.
This is a completely mean nerd out question.
Hmm.
Did it get the bodies? Did the bodies move or did they leave the bodies?
No, the dead bodies stayed.
Good to
Well,
know.
actually,
Do the
I'm gonna
undead
say
stay?
I'm gonna say half the bot. No, the undead moved too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say half the dead stayed because we moved the dead body with the widow the last time.
Yeah.
So I want to keep with the
Question.
half. Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm being very specific here.
No.
The undead minions of Soth stayed or they
Mhm.
left?
Some of them left. Some stayed.
Okay.
Was
The
there any
the mist.
distinction
Um.
between whether they were moving or defeated? I was just curious that if we go to a
No.
location, if there will be evidence via dead bodies or corpse
There
or
there
whatever.
are dead of the undead still there. There's none of his actual functioning undead stayed.
Kagrat, dead bodies stay there after the
Ye-
move?
Some stayed, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Some did leave, but there's about 3 or 4 dead still.
Okay. The Ravenloft mist that swept through, was it like a very quick, almost like a wave in and out?
And yeah, a thick wave. They tried to run, they couldn't escape it, and then once it left, they were kind of just there
What
still.
direction?
And
What direction did it come from?
it came from the south, heading towards north, towards the ocean.
So it just swept south to north, or did it go south north and then sweep back south?
No, it kept going north, and it
Okay.
stayed going north.
Okay.
At this point, the 2 combatants are kind of they do the salute with the swords, and well, they separate for a moment.
Are they both sort of like kind of catching their breath?
for a moment. Soth really doesn't need to catch his breath, but just mentally he's taking in fully what went through again and happy you can tell he's happy this time the mist didn't move him again.
Does it look like my mother is like holding her own against Soth?
She seemed to be the only one that could.
Okay.
She's like, you can hear her say, you know it'd be best if we just tabled this for now. Soth replies, only if he dies.
He meaning Damokos?
Mm-hmm. You didn't have orders to come after me. He did. And he followed them. We exchanged blades before. You're a well fighter. I could use a well fighter. Guarantee the Kurgat's not paying you more than I can plumb it up from their ruins. How much for your sword? You can tell she looks back at Damokos and looks back, and with the flick of her blade, she takes off his head.
She kills Damokos?
Mm-hmm. We have a doctor to meet. She's like, a doctor? The real ruler of this realm. Last I heard, he was east. She's like, so, no more Mistlands then? No. No more Mistlands. I'm Lord Soth. She nods. Where is her other name? Siriel Basharash. He nods. Lady Siriel it is. Let's go. And they begin walking east.
My scrying orb would still stay within 10 feet and follow her. So
That's fine.
it lasts for 10 minutes, so I am staying the full 10 minutes. So
No, that's
they
understandable.
talk about anything? Does it look like there's a certain landmark they're going towards, or is there like a road that they're going towards?
She gave it to you, the Mistlands. It's in the upper northeast of the map.
This episode should be called Mom Stalker.
It's actually to the west of, or I'm sorry, east of the Lake of Lost Dreams. It's actually where the Mistlands would be on the old map is
Okay.
completely under fog on the new map.
Okay.
So if you guys actually, if you're looking at your map and you're looking at the 5e Darkon, you go to the Lake of Lost Dreams and you go to the east in that gray spot between the trees and that lake. And you'd find yourself at the Mistlands.
Okay.
Because if you look at the old map,
Mm-hmm.
you're there.
Okay.
Lake of Lost Dreams is here. And then
So they're heading towards the springs, most likely. Okay. Is that as much as my scrying gets me?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Sprankles. Sorry, I was talking to Nate.
okay.
All right. Adrie's gonna jump up and run out her room to go find Kaeviir.
You find him in the galley, I believe, making food.
Run in. Put her journal down with her
Oh,
notes.
whoa.
I
Hold
saw
on.
her.
Wait. It's very delicate. All right. There's cranberries in here. They're hard to find here. 1 minute.
I saw her. She was fighting Soth.
Your mom.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're in the Mistlands, but they're going east. I think to the springs. I think they're gonna look for Dr. Midnight.
It's not too far from here. Right?
Yes. So we can go now?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Okay.
You're back to
she
vegetarian now, right?
yes.
Okay.
She thinks she's somebody else right now.
Right.
But we can fix that later.
I'm gonna reach forward.
Think her
to-
that who she's not is gonna work great.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
this
reach
whole
forward.
damn family's got memory.
I'm gonna reach forward to this brass kind of pipe that's on the wall, and I'm gonna turn it to sort of face me. I'm gonna lean forward. Captain,
Yes.
change of plans.
Okay, where are we heading?
Where are we heading?
The springs, Nevichar Springs.
Nevichar Springs.
Thought you wanted to stay away from the danger zones.
Didn't have a choice.
I
New
see.
information has forced our hand.
All right. Well, I'll spin us around and head back in the other direction.
Are you a cranberry guy?
What's a cranberry?
See you in a little while. I'm gonna keep mixing. I'm like, we're on the way. How'd you look?
Feel the inertia of the ship.
I'm
I make a big U.
I'm gonna take my foot. I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm gonna take my foot and put it underneath the cabinets and like kind of stabilize myself as I mix. I'm not gonna be able to grab anything while I'm mixing. It's important that this doesn't slow down.
Oh, right.
So when the ship turns, do you want to roll a dex check, Rachel? Because you didn't grab anything.
Sure.
It's funny that Serena moves too, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I got a 16.
It's the whole ship is moving, Rachel. That's not very good. D-Walk, what do you think of DC on all of the inertia of a ship turning with no grip on anything?
I believe she has disadvantage for being in that heavy armor.
True.
Actually, my armor is made
Oh, no, elven armor, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. So a 16?
Yeah.
I really, really cranked left on this thing.
Then everything would like fall out of like
It's on
the
a boat.
shelves and off the tables.
It's designed for this.
It's somewhere down
That a
below
16 does.
It's a
You hear
series of
Cargillus
magnets on the bottom.
As much as I'd love to crash her through a door right now, I can't on a 16.
She hits
Don't
her head
worry
and has amnesia. Shit.
Don't worry. The plan of putting Adrie through a wooden door again is going to happen.
Oh,
Just like
no.
offering her to a duck, it will happen.
That will never happen. I will never be polymorphed into a duck.
I will
Yeah.
polymorph every member of this team.
You cannot polymorph me. I'm a reigning non-polymorphed champion.
I would like to roll my important rolls for you.
Okay.
I'm just
Completely unconnected to that thought.
Right.
I'm just scared of the fact that now I'm going to be worried that every time Adrie hits her head against something, she's going to flip back to Kestrel and then she's back to Adrie. It's like
I think
switch.
when you get polymorphed, it's going to turn you into a trout.
I'll be a shrimp.
I'm still playing with the idea of splitting Adrie and Kestrel into two bodies.
Ooh.
Rachel and I were laughing when I was up there about me becoming a rabbit character, like a race. What is the race called?
Was it the?
You talking about the miniature she painted?
Yeah, I want to be that race at some point.
The
Herringon.
Yeah, the Herringon.
Herringon tomorrow.
So she looked really good. She was like the best at fighting Soth. She did kill Damakos and join Soth. So she is very different from how she's supposed to be.
Mm.
Oh, you thought Cass was bad.
Oh no.
What if your mom's a total skank now?
Oh, fuck.
We don't know. 'Cause she was like puritanical before, but what if she's like really down?
You don't turn completely opposite.
You could
Oh,
totally,
no.
she could totally skank it up. You
Oh
don't
my
know. I could.
She's become a Republican. Oh
Oh
no.
my God! Can you
No.
imagine? Can
That's-
you imagine if both members of your family hit on me? Holy shit! Holy shit! Power
Oh,
throuple.
Oh,
No, no.
the professional's gonna find himself on a Leodon sandwich. Oh no.
Oh my God, no.
wow.
Why don't you get over here and sit Leah on my lap?
God. I will tell Kaeviir about everything I saw during my scrying.
So we're
And
looking for. I'm just gonna relay because I was listening.
Mhm.
So we need a northern shoreline, right, with winds coming from the west.
Mhm.
Only about an hour away from us, time wise, which didn't. I'm not certain how that fits light wise anyway. So we're traveling into. Okay, so then relatively calm waters.
Mhm.
A site where there had recently been rain, but not so much climate wise that it would create a marsh or a bog,
Yeah.
right? And then also naturally misty, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
not necessarily cosmically
Well,
misty.
she said they were in the Mistlands.
Right.
And then
And we're looking for bodies. And
yeah.
a field large enough to have an assault like that where a dragon could land,
Mhm.
but also surrounded by trees. So an opening near the water on the shoreline, easy to trace that pattern. Then
Mhm.
we know the direction that she traveled in. We know the basic region, and we know about how many bodies we're looking for.
Mhm.
Right? Should be relatively simple to find. The Mistlands is how far, Rayne?
From where? Well, I mean, assuming that we
Not
hadn't.
from how far from where we are, but how long is the Mistlands? Is it a reasonably easy search along the coastline?
Well,
Well, D-Walk nods yes.
Yes.
So.
yeah, I mean, and as far as what you would consider coastland to be, yeah, it's not going to be probably more than, I don't know, what would you say, a day's worth of search?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have dinner while we go ahead and we can have it up on the top deck.
Okay.
And we could search while we eat.
Okay. Can I help with you with anything in here?
Yeah.
There's like, she's more helpful than me. I can't touch anything as she keeps putting her hands through Kaeviir's head.
What's it feel like to be inside the mind of a brilliant man?
It's a little more empty than I remember.
Than you remember. The fuck does that mean?
She floats up through the floor.
All right. I'm going to lay out a bunch of pastry kind of like flat, and we're gonna cut up a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, can you spoon a little bit into each?
Sure.
It's delicate. Try not to kick
When-
any doors off the hinges.
When do you add the egg?
You don't.
Or Nate.
I literally was blind with anger for about 30 seconds. I had a cold rage creep up my spine. I've already prepared like a shit ton of different types of pastries and strudels and buns and things like that. Sweet things for our guest.
Mhm.
Bite size, most of them. These will go in shortly. We want to let them sit for a minute, and then I've prepared you all types of salads and glazed carrots and things like that. I know you're into those. And then,
Thank
of
you.
course, the meat, which will go on last. And I just like step aside, and it's like large cuts of venison and steak. It's like, and of course, wines, which I think I'll let our captain choose tonight. What do you say? Still not drinking wine?
I guess I could have one glass, but that's it.
I'm gonna.
And also, don't tell my mom.
I'm gonna bring a huge goblet and just like one glass. Deal. How are you feeling?
It feels strange, but also kind of normal because I feel like I went somewhere, but that I didn't go somewhere at the same time.
I know what that's like. You ever wake up in a jar? No, just a little professional humor.
Well, I'm very glad that you're not dead.
Me too. How are some of those extra memories fitting in?
It felt strange to watch Demakos die because he and Kestrel were friends and well, friends and as much that Kestrel could be friends with anyone.
Keep in mind, just not to. Everyone's going to be different. I've known students that have finally achieved a rank to where they could be reborn, and they frazzle out. Just doesn't work for them. Some people are adaptable to this type of thing. Some people aren't. Some people pop like a bubble as soon as anything doesn't fit. You seem like you're doing all right. Here's what's an important thing.
Mhm.
None of the things that you remember are wrong. You're going to have that tendency to think this doesn't fit, so it must be wrong. But that's not how it works. You can have two memories from two different places. Try to think of it as yourself as being in two places, maybe just a day apart, right? It makes it easier to compartmentalize what's happening, right? You might have two individually mutually exclusive thoughts about the same event, and trying to file them away can be complicated because they seem like they're at odds with each other. But what I find, and maybe it was easier for me because I spent so much time on stage when I was younger, that pretend like one of them, whenever you're thinking about the thoughts you had as Adrie, the thoughts you had as Kest were a character that you played tomorrow. You're going to go on stage, you're going to play that character, and these are the types of thoughts you have. Create two timelines for yourself. Eventually, they'll start to bleed together, and it'll make it much more manageable. But at first, it can be challenging.
Okay.
That'll help. Also, you're squishing those less.
Oh.
Put less in there.
Sorry.
Good Lord. What are you doing?
I just figured you weren't adding eggs, so there's more room for the cranberries.
Look, I think it's safe to say when it comes to cooking, there shouldn't be any collisions of memories because it seems like both of you are pretty shitty at this. So let me just go ahead and take that from you.
Kira's like, where did these eggs even come from?
I didn't have eggs on the counter.
If you'd like to help, I could use some cut up apples. You want
Okay.
to go ahead and take care of that for me?
Okay.
Cutting things up seems like right up your wheelhouse.
I can do that.
In the meantime, I shall braise. Lift steaks up. We're just gonna slow roll this into the next scene, I guess.
I think it's a good scene going out on you going through the kitchen together.
Okay.
I like how Rachel, in character, out of character, can't help but think that egg needs to be places.
I just thought that would be
Insane.
funny. I just thought
There's no part of me that believes that you would not brush egg over a pastry, like in all instances.
Nate, your face turned so red. You were laughing.
I was like, man, that was great, because it's like I wasn't even thinking about trying to make an egg joke, and then you slipped one in. I'm like, that's great.
Oh my god! I need to get some cookies. That needs to happen.
I'm gonna have this last bite of donut.
Celebratory rhino asshole. Rhino acquaintance. Oh, this is a good game. I really am excited about this. I really like these kind of it's cool that Kaeviir's history of knowing how to deal with being in new bodies and playing a million people, identity for him is so locked in that it doesn't matter in what form he's in or what body he's in. His identity has had 6,000 years of refinement. He knows who he is. There's no confusion, right? Whether he's a kid, he's an adult, whatever. So watching him, a person who is familiar with one person and also familiar recently with the second person, now have to make peace with them being one person. And then, I mean, he's aware of how that feels, right? And how that kind of the ego that exists in each one of those people telling you that they're the real one, that conflict. But being able then, because he was a teacher for so long, to be able to help work through this.
Yeah.
I think that it's your character beat, but because Kaeviir is past, I get to interact with it as well. I think it makes the story more cohesive.
Yeah.
And Nate's got a lot of stuff that is in his backstory that we're not 100% familiar with yet. But this is why I like these characters so much, is that because we've played them for so long, there is like backstory references that we can make that Nate is unfamiliar with, but when he becomes familiar with, well, then it's natural. It feels natural, right?
Yeah.
You're the new guy, so
of course I'm learning what's going on.
Right.
If I were to come into this knowing everything, then that would be.
I just pictured because Kaeviir has like that tube to go talk to Rayne, so I just picture like Rayne is up on the deck steering the ship, but it's like we've left the
he's
like
listening through the
like
tube.
we have speakerphone on
Yeah.
to like talk to each other, and he can like hear Adrie and Kaeviir like talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just hear someone going, "The fuck are you doing with eggs down there?"
I do not know. She's insane. She tried to roast a grape for 2 hours once. No, but this is good though, and I also dig that every other person I've tried to sign a contract with, everyone has been super fucking resistant to it after the fact. They were like, I do what I need. Like Rachel has a contract with me. Adrie does. And the only reason I didn't get Kestrel to sign one is because I didn't want Kestrel to stick around. No offense. Fuck Kestrel. Give me my friend back.
I appreciate the fact that I basically am looking at the crew. I've got a skeleton, a ghost, and a pyromaniac kobold.
Kobold.
Yeah.
And a beholder.
Okay.
I'm can't wait to see how that turns out. That's good.
Cargillis and Associates. We'll research your shit.
I feel like out of everybody who's gonna be on this boat once Victor and Co come back, Nick is like the most normal person out of all
Oh
of
yeah,
us.
old fungal shoulders. Right, totally normal.
But he's just like a farmer kid who got really into a certain type of plant.
I just like that because he was a farmer and from a vineyard, that his understanding of our wines is going to be vastly superior to everyone else. Like, so like when we have wine for dinner, I always try to get him to do it. But because he's not here, Rayne, you get to pick. Also, I like giving D-Walk weird characters to play at all times. So like he's right now he's got to play a ghost. He's got to play a person who is under the belief that they are following the Dark Lord, who is tricking them with goodness in order to, as like a penance, right? Then he's got a fucking librarian fucking beholder that he has to play. He has to play mirror version of me. He has to play. There's so many fucking people. He's got to play Rachel's mom, Rachel's dad, Rachel's vampire dad.
You're gonna make this poor man schizophrenic before
I just think it's so funny. If I could get you to play a two-headed wyvern that argues with itself, we'd be oh my god, perfect.
I hope to God I never lose my sanity, because I'm gonna have all these weird ass voices in my head from DMing all these years. It's like, which one's the real?
Sometimes it was like, I bet I can get D-Walk to have to play this guy for like 17 episodes. I bet I could get him to play this guy forever. Oh my god, a sentient shoe. Let's do it. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism. We really appreciate you coming in and listening. We also really appreciate all the people who support our Patreon. By supporting the Patreon, you're going to get behind the scene uncut clips that you'll get to see sort of like maybe the tissue behind some of the edited, cleaned up content. And you'll get that whenever we have a big block of it to drop, as well as any updates or any information behind the scenes stuff that we think the Patreons would like to know. So if you'd like to support our Patreon and help us continue making the high quality, high octane podcast that you've come to expect, go ahead to patreon.com/freelance_heroism. Thank you. And as usual, the invoice is in the mail. You okay, Nate?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. You just have a look on your face like you just stuck a lemon in your ass or something. Like a freshly
tasting that pucker.
I'm just sitting here listening and taking in the stories. I'm fine.